Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Let's get started. And our first one comes from Advertising OK 3224. Am I the beehole for making it clear to my cousin that we're not the same and will never be on the same page? I, a 26-year-old female, was adopted as an infant and have never met my birth family. I did seek some answers when I was 19 with the help of my parents, and it was made very clear nobody in my birth family wanted anything to do with me. I couldn't even access medical records. The reason is I was a result of an affair. My birth mother tried passing me off as her husband's, but when he found out, she was too far along to abort me, and my birth father and his wife also wanted nothing to do with me. None of the siblings on the other side wanted to know me or any of their extended families. I was the dirty piece of history they all wanted to erase. Not exactly a secret since I was known, but certainly not a person in their eyes. I wasn't really hurt by the rejection, but I was also frustrated by the lack of medical info, which was the primary thing I would have liked, and mentioned this when I was reaching out. I always had my own family, so it was never about meeting my real family or anything. My real family are the people who raised me, and I grew up alongside. So, that's kind of my background related to my adoption. I have a cousin who is 21. She's also adopted. She was also adopted as an infant, just like me. My uncle, dad's brother, and aunt, dad's sister-in-law, are her parents. Unlike me, my cousin longed for her birth family from the moment she found out she was adopted, which happened when she was 10 and only because a cousin blabbed and not because her parents told her. She does not have a good relationship with her parents, though. She struggles far more with being adopted. She really feels lost. She has confided in me before, and I'll always be okay with that. I would support her and cheer her on when she mentioned wanting to find her birth family. But she has been unable to find any information, and now she is fixated on the idea that I need to reach out to my birth family again. She has told me she knows it must deeply upset me and leave me with a deep longing to know them when I know they've said no. I've explained that I've never felt that, and I was mostly wondering about medical history. When I reached out, she keeps telling me, no, she knows that's not true. We are the same, you and I. Sorry, I added that you and I part. She tried gifting me an ancestry DNA thing and everything to help make contact with them again. I have tried being kind and understanding and suggested she find other adoptees to find someone with her experiences. But she keeps insisting our experiences are the same and our feelings are the same, and we should stick together and find our real families together. I lost my temper with her last week and told her we are not the same, and she needs to accept that I do not care and do not want to find my birth family, and I cannot keep helping her if she won't accept that. I said this after she tried to give me another DNA kit. She is wasting her money and being so pushy, and it set me off. She told me we were supposed to have each other's backs as the adoptees of the family. Am I the beehole? Hi, OP. You are not the beehole. You've told your sister time and time again that you don't see it the same way she does. And you tried to reach out to them, I understand, for medical, and it sucks that you can't get your medical history. That's something you should know just in case, something happens, but I understand they suck. But yeah, you've already reached out. They said no, they don't want to know you. You found out why they didn't want to know you, which really sucks. I mean, that's not your fault, but people are people. But yeah, I'm gonna say she's the beehole because, like I said, you told her, and not everybody's the same. That's kind of sucky that she's like, oh, I need to know my family. Well, not really, because from what I understand, she's not close to her stepdad, so maybe not. I don't know. It's something I've never experienced and will never experience. But it's different for each person. Everyone's different. And if she wants to go find her bio family, let her go find her family. But she shouldn't be dragging you into this nonsense and thinking that you guys are the exact same. Especially, I assume she knows what happened when you reached out to your bio family. And yeah, if I heard that, I would think, oh yeah, these people want nothing to do with me. And she's really pushy over here trying to give you DNA test and ancestry DNA test, all that nonsense. After you told her no, you weren't interested. So no, I don't think you were the beehole, OP. I think you put up with it a lot longer than I did, and
Even though I don't even think you really went off on her. You just told her, no, we're just not that way. And she didn't respect you after you told her. So, yeah, no, you are not the beehole, OP. Our next one comes from Neat Climate 133. Am I the beehole for refusing to be adopted to present this nicely packaged story to my young siblings when they are older? My dad got married to Eve last year. Eve has 2 kids. Her son is 4 now, and her daughter is 2. There are a lot of deep stuff in Eve's background, and even in the kids, with their paternal side of the family, but they really had nobody other than Eve. Until my dad and Eve met. Once they got married, my dad adopted them. Then my dad's relatives didn't want the kids to be treated the same as the rest of the grandkids, and told dad they would never mean as much to them as the rest of the Bio family would. So he told them to get lost and cut ties with them. When all 3 sides, dad's, Eve's, the kids' paternal sides, were basically not in the picture. Dad asked my mom's family, my mom died when I was 2, if they would embrace my step siblings as family and treat them the same way they would treat me because they are now my siblings, and my family and I love them. So it was important for me to see them being embraced by my family. My family actually asked me if that what dad said was true, and I told them it wasn't. I said I hardly even knew the kids, let alone love them. My family told my dad they would never see my step siblings as their grandkids. I should also maybe make it clear that my dad and maternal family did not remain close or like family after my mom died. I still saw my family, but dad was never involved, and he would go to his own family when I was with mine. I never liked my dad's family, so it was never a huge deal to me to not see them, and it's not a huge deal not to have them all around. They were always really annoying about how girly I am, and they could never believe I would want to have a manly job when I graduate. Eve was pretty depressed when she realized she hadn't made the kids' family all that much bigger, and they had been rejected even more. So dad decided that we'd be the tightest little unit, and we'd all choose each other. So they would know they are chosen and loved despite all the rejection. My dad decided for this to fully work, I should let Eve adopt me. I refused without hearing anything else. I told him Eve will never adopt me, and I don't care how much of a nice story it paints for her kids because I'm not doing that for them. He told me they are little, and Eve said it would mean so much to them. Dad told me the part of being a big sibling is putting the younger kids first. I told him the kids were never going to be my priority, and I was never going to go out of my way for them like that. Dad offered a compromise, then of me writing and signing a contract saying I would always be their big brother. And I was so lucky to choose 2 awesome siblings, oh that's cringy, which I said no to as well. Then the adoption stuff was pushed even more. Eve tried telling me I would still be able to call her Eve most of the time, but I would just call her mom in front of her kids. Dad told me I was being selfish for refusing to do this, and reiterated that the kids should be our priority. Am I the beehole? OP, this is a pretty easy one. You are not the beehole. Your father and Eve are the beeholes. When are people gonna learn? You can't just force adoption on someone like that. And they've lost what, every extended family? From what it sounds like, what they're doing, they're going to lose you too as soon as you're able to dip. Looking down the comments, there's one line from Chirvena Ice, not the beehole. She shows that her kids' well being means more to her than yours. Exactly. Your dad's doing the same thing. They're not treating you well, they're prioritizing those kids over you when you are your father's kid. And if they're going to do that, don't you think the other kid's going to be, not happy seeing the other ones being favored more? And him trying to get you to sign a contract to say you'll always be the big brother and be a tighter unit and all that. It sounds like your dad doesn't really care about anything other than his appearance to others. Because this is such a random thing. Because if he wanted you to like Eve and you guys to get along as a family, he just needs to let that happen. He can't force it. People do not like being forced into doing things. We're going to rebel. It's in our nature. Oh yeah, and there's also the other thing where they went behind your back to your family and told them that you'd want them to see them as their own flesh and blood. And they lied to you and they tried to manipulate you and the family. So that double shows me that they don't care about you, OP. They just care about, well, he cares about her kids because he wants her. So of course he's going to prioritize her kids over you. But so that tells me your father doesn't really prioritize you when he should. So yeah, OP, you are not the beehole. If I were you, As soon as you can, I would leave and cut all ties to them, because it seems like that's what they want. Let them live in their own little bubble. And our next one comes from Rare Stretch 3814. Am I the beehole for giving more money to my daughter than my sons and saying that my grandkids are not my responsibility? My wife and I have 3 kids. Boy 1, age 34, boy 2, age 30, and girl, age 26. As we have good careers, we're able to pay for all of their college tuitions, which varies on year, degree, and university. The 3 were all about the same, no big changes. Our 2 boys decided to get a degree and get to work. However, our daughter decided she'll do a postgraduate. My wife and I have decided to pay for that as well. We've always valued education a lot, so we think that if we can help, there's no reason not to do so. Our 2 sons are upset over the news. They think we're spoiling our girl. Both of them said they should all get the same treatment. I told them that this is because their sister is choosing to pursue higher education than they did, so she should get more money. Our oldest said that's unfair, and instead of giving the money to our daughter, we could start a college fund for our grandkids. I told them absolutely not, because their kids are their responsibility, just as my kids are mine. So, I'd rather pay for my daughter than my grandkids. I'm not saying that because I don't love my grandkids. I love them with all my heart, but I don't think that my kids should count on me to pay for their kids' stuff. My sons are upset. They're upset with me and my wife because we are paying for our daughter's college, and they're upset at me for my comment about their kids. They say that we're once again spoiling our golden children, and that I'm picking favorites. Them versus their sister slash my daughter versus my grandkids. Hi, OP. I don't think you're the beehole. From what you said, it all makes sense to me. You paid for both of their schooling, and now you're paying for her schooling, but she's going longer, so you're continuing to pay for that schooling. I don't see where they're coming from. It makes sense. They got their stuff paid for. If they had continued, they would have gotten the same amount of money. And it's not like you're just giving her more money than them to blow on, random things. It's for her education. I would understand if you were just giving her money to do things with. Then I would get that. And like you said, your grandchildren are not your children. And I do think it'd be kind of cool if you did put a little something aside for their college, but don't tell your kids because you don't want them to get pushy with you like how they're doing right now. From what it sounds like your boys are entitled. I don't know about the girl. I assume everybody's raised the same, so be careful with her after school. But it's your money. You're free to do with your money as you want. And it's crazy. They don't realize how lucky they are. They had all of their college paid for. I didn't. I would kill for that. So yeah, OP, you're not the beehole. What you said makes complete sense to me, because they would have gotten the same treatment if they had continued like your daughter did. But, like I said, don't tell them, put a little something aside for their grandkids' college, Yeah, I think that'd be nice. And our final one comes from LeftDad7639. Am I the beehole for telling my brother that this is not my problem? My daughter and my niece both started school this year. Both attend the best school in our town. My daughter is extremely smart and very popular at school. She is friends with almost everyone in her class. My niece, on the other hand, is not that smart. She struggles with simple tasks and has no friends. A few days ago, my brother called me and asked me to change my daughter's school because kids have been making fun of my niece and calling her stupid. The stupid one, while they call my daughter the smart one. He claims that his daughter has never had this problem before, and it started when my daughter started to attend the same school as her, because everyone is comparing them now since they are cousins. He also claims that it's also my daughter's fault because the kids would do this are her friends. I told him that I'm not changing my daughter's school, and this is not my problem. My daughter is friends with almost everyone, and she can't be expected to control everyone's actions. Also, since my daughter is very clearly smarter and is thriving in the school while his daughter is struggling, and also because his daughter doesn't have any friends, there are anyways, she should be the one to go to a new school. He thinks I'm being a beehole. To be completely honest with you, OP, I think you're both being beeholes. Him asking you to move your daughter from a school because his daughter's having problems, and I think your daughter's up to something like bullying the kid, because why are her friends going after this girl who, if your daughter didn't tell them you're related, why are they going after this random girl? And if your daughter is related to her, why isn't she stopping them from going after her cousin? I know if I was in that situation, I'd stop them from going after my siblings. And you're also the beehole for telling him he should move his daughter because she's not smart. That's not cool, man. What are you guys doing? Wait, you guys sound like children. It's just a bunch of children screaming at each other. And another thing I'm not liking about what you're saying is the way you're saying it. You sound almost gleeful when you're saying, "Oh, she's stupid and my daughter's awesome. She has all the friends and she's smart." OP, you're both jerks. You both suck. I feel bad for your kids. I really hope they, don't take the lessons from their parents and actually get over this and become cool with each other. But yeah, you're both the beeholes, and geez, start acting like adults. Come on.
Thank you so much for staying with me to the end of this video. Can you please do what I said in the beginning and like, comment, and subscribe? It will really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Velvet out.